everyone. Okay, I need the rest. I am a mainframe guy. Actually, the younger in the company. Uh, okay, I'm a mainframe guy. Maybe I'm the trouble of many of you, but I can be the solution also. Okay. Actually, Ignition is a joint venture of two companies, and I'm very glad that Emmanuel gave me more 5 minutes because I have to speak in two slides about 36 years of history of doing that. Okay. At the time, we migrated so many workloads out of mainframe that even though we didn't have cloud at the time, so we decommissioned more than 100 mainframes in our history. And the joint venture just started 20 years ago from two companies that were IBM mainframe experts and Unisys mainframe experts. And it was a decision to build the next generation of our own business. It's like this decision here. I don't need more discussions. Mainframe is a support. It's about business logic. It's understanding the business logic, understanding what we do in a bank or in any mainframe usage in the business. Okay? Out of that, we become a full one-stop shop for migration. Because it's not only about code migration. Actually, it's about migrating people, culture, rather than technology. And we have, along these last 20 years together, trying to address all the objections. And that's the idea. When we get to a mainframe customer, the mainframe guys are the ones in the IT that has more ownership of the applications and of the business more than the bank owner sometimes, right? So it's about answering objections. When you go to a mainframe guy saying that you go to cloud, they come up with more objections than anyone. How it would be my RAC F migration, my security migration part, my database migration. Okay, if I migrate just one application, but it talks to other 100 applications in the bank, how would we answer these integrations? So what we've been developing in the last 20 years are technology and expertise with consultants to answer all those objections. I'm not saying here that we have the 100% truth way to do that, but what we've been doing in the last 36 years is we did it 100%. We switched off many mainframes, but we count on people from mainframe team to do that. We have modern technology, a psychological approach on convincing these guys because we were mainframe. That's a different strategy. That's why we have decades on that. And we embrace Java since 2000. And Java is our goal when we talk about this, okay? And we also had this cooperation with Huawei because we understand that Huawei is one of the best solutions when you talk about hybrid cloud. Because one of the objections that you have when you get to a mainframe guy with hundreds of applications running on this environment, they say, okay, I'll not go 100% to cloud. Okay, you can do it inside your data center. You can migrate your core applications with all the advantage of cloud, but on-premise. And Huawei, in my point of view, is one of the best ones to do that, right? So we developed together a process, and that's our framework. And I have just 5 minutes. Thanks to Emmanuel. Actually, we see that we're not competitors. Maybe we can cooperate a lot. That's why you gave me 5 minutes. Otherwise, you wouldn't do that. I'm sure about it. Okay. So when you see this framework, it's answered the objections of the mainframe team in any environment. So we start with assessment, and assessment goes to answer some questions that even the team inside their customers don't have. Okay, how many line of codes in specific applications, how these applications are coupled, which is the most important piece of answering that. How many line of codes are true, how many are trash, okay? How it would be to migrate my entire printing system. Mainframe print a lot of things, okay? They have protocols that talk to Xerox machines. How it would be on cloud. So this assessment is composed by many tools we have to answer all these objections. That's the starting point. That will generate the entire strategy for the migration process. Okay. Once the customer asked me, Alexey, can you migrate this application if I don't have the code? And I said, okay, magic can cost more. Yeah, we did for some programs. The customer, once they didn't have the source code, and we have to deassemble it and generate the code back and then migrate. You know. So in this phase, we generate all the risks related to the project, and then the more you plan, you have this strategy to do that, and it's not a big bang. In the past, the first projects we did, most of them were big bangs. But now we did that for Banreservas, Banco de la República Dominicana. We completely decommissioned 2 big mainframes there. And the most important piece was integration. How we integrate an application once you move that, and they're still talking to the mainframe and even using the database. So we have a piece of software, a kind of middleware that integrates when we do that. So we can push things out of the mainframe in an application level, in a transaction level, or a piece of the application. So we can do that, let's say, in waves. So it gives a much better and less risky strategy for the customer. Then you have the migration, execution, and transformation planning, where you really receive all the code, all the data, and we have our conversion tools. Of course, we have our conversion tools to generate mainframe code to Java, okay? And in this phase also, we find exceptions because each customer has its way on coding. So we tune our software to be at least 95% automatic. If you have less than that, it's work. Most of our projects start with 99% of the code being generated automatic. Okay, and in this phase we tune, let's say, this migration factor with our own tools. And then when we migrate the application, we have all the testing and quality assurance that we must count on the customer a lot. That's why we have to convince the mainframe guys to come with you in this journey. Actually, when I start a project in a room like this, last time it was Banco de Estado do Espírito Santo Badeste. We are just doing this now. I say, hey, who thinks that this project is going to fail? 80% of the mainframe guys, okay, the others can leave the room, stay here. And then let's say, hey, if you don't help me, we don't get anywhere. And I bring them to the project and show how we did this bridge between the old technology and the new. So in this phase, test quality assurance, I need these key guys. The guys that has the ownership of the application. Okay? And we have also some tools to do automatic testing, screen recording at the user level, just to test the application after migration. So we have an entire process and service to speed up these migrations, okay? And along the project, we have the team enablement. That's why we say that we migrate people, because we train these mainframe guys on the new architecture and they come with us. And we have all other layers, of course, of infrastructure from Huawei working together. We validate already. Huawei has been some weeks in our lab in Fortaleza, Brazil, validating our technology. We can generate everything for Huawei infrastructure, including the usage of GaussDB. We already did that in some testing from DB2, Visa to GaussDB. So we have an entire answer for that. That's my speech. I just wanted to let you know that mainframe migrations, automatic mainframe migrations are possible. We've been doing that for 36 years. And if we fail, my company wouldn't be live, because we did more than 100 projects in this fashion, in this way. Anything you guys need, please just talk back to me. I have to say thank you very much to Daniel and Eric that were supporting me in this journey here in China. We are very glad to be here, Eric. Thank you very much. Was the last call, just like this. Was the last call to come to China and do that. So thank you very much for the audience and my Latin American partners. Anything you need, just contact us here. Okay. Thank you very much.